All right, so
Kind
can
of
you hit
interesting.
record? And we'll get going because I want to make sure that we mind everybody's time.
All right. Yep. All right.
It's not recording yet, at least on my end. I don't see it.
Mine says recording.
Okay.
It does?
Yeah,
Okay,
I see the recording as well, so I didn't hear.
Oh, I see it too now. Okay, I had the screen blown up. All right, so let me just review so that we all have this for our notes, if we want. So we basically said website working is the #1 priority because we lost a lot of our 85,000 people who actually, or is that right?
8,500.
8,500 that went to the site. We only captured 85 of those, and had the website been working, it been an easy click, we would have captured a lot more of those. I also think that making it more of a landing page so that there's no potential to go ADD on the site and start clicking other things, but people just go straight to
with the landing page, it's like pretty much no header, no footer. So there's no menu bar to go anywhere else. They have one choice: RSVP to the event or X out and go somewhere else. So it's giving them that one choice of do this or bye-bye.
Cool.
Right. And a good web developer will tell you, like how people read a screen. And so having the register now button be like up here in small and clear, and then really here big and clear with a lot of white space so that they're not distracted. And that we also, we had a lot of things going on our site.
Same thing. There's a difference between website and phone. Like Childhelp on the phone is really good, but when I'm making the website, I'm not thinking about the phone. Plus, I also know another web developer. I'm not sure if your team does this, but he's got like 10 computers, all different software, different browsers and everything. And the only reason why you buy is that it has all the computers is because it takes 3 minutes to refresh them versus like an hour to do it. But so he'll have like a PC, a Mac, using Safari, using Chrome on all the variations. And same thing with the phones, having the 3 different style phones, the Nexus, the Droid, and then
I think Childhelp has that pretty down from what I can tell from your website.
There is I was just that was kind of a piece of feedback is it could be perfect on all of them, but the Nexus does not like it. And so I just
we use our events because you've seen our Childhelp website, but also for events I've always used another software platform because we usually have a physical component of registration, fund a need, like our live auctions, now that we also have a fundraising need and we need teams built. So we use platforms like OneCause, and all of that is really, really user-friendly so that I don't have to know any of that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So with the OneCause, when somebody RSVPs to the event, are you able to control the autoresponder reply in terms of you're able to put text and links and documents in there so that it replies?
Yep.
Well, that just made a lot of things very easy for you then too.
It is really, it's a very.
I can cover that too, more on this page 3 in terms of because I don't know your systems, but now that I know that helps out greatly.
And then our critical relief platform, it's Classy. So they're
okay. Yeah, that's what I was. I was actually researching Classy. So in the
and yes, the same as with Classy too. I donated. I can control. I made a team, and I can control the thank you for the people that donate to my team. And you can do it as a whole for Childhelp too.
As well as the redirect. So it's I'm on Classy, I donate, and then all of a sudden you send me to Facebook. So you can control where they go after they click.
I don't know about that.
Okay. I'll do a little bit more digging on what was the other one you said, Classy.
OneCause, right?
Classy and OneCause.
What is that?
Okay, OneCause.
I'm
going to keep moving through. Just again, I don't want to keep everybody here for 3 hours.
Right.
So have the team prepared. We already went over that. Just a bigger team is going to help. So you have these components. But you guys, again, you have that at Childhelp.
Same thing with social media scheduled.
Social media scheduled. We also talked about warming up the audience, which I think you've also already done because you had live events scheduled. And so this audience is already warmed up. We said really the only audience that we had warmed up was one of Lucas's email lists. And a lot of them didn't sign up.
And I sent 2 emails. And I those 2 emails actually drove in the most traffic with, and so it was
Yeah.
As long as it's like warmed up audience in like a certain sense, it'll help a lot more. Kind of as Raina was saying earlier too, like niching the videos for that specific speaker, so that they're bringing in a very specific individual that's already warmed up for that market.
Again, you guys, I think as far as success for your events, because that's kind of what this meeting's about, is how can we help make your events more successful? What you can learn from our mistakes. That having a warmed up audience, you already have that. So, you know, people were planning on going to the live events. You're just going to have to make them feel like, yes, this is going to be just as much fun to go to this, but they're already warmed up. So that's one thing that we didn't have. You know, we were kind of like out of the blue saying, hey, come to this event, when people are like, wait, I didn't even know you did events, you know? Yeah. So you have that in your corner. Going on 3 months of marketing, you may have that for some of your live events, but again, you have a warmed up audience. Really letting them get curious and come to say like, oh, this thing's about to happen, I can find out. And as it gets closer, you're following up with saying, okay, now it's really happening. You were already curious. And also getting the marketing out to places that you don't have a warm audience. You're going to want to do that 3 months prior so that you do start warming up another audience.
And I also put a couple articles in the articles at the bottom. Hyatt, the launch formula, launch virtual summit, and content is just something that it's just all about like creating content, is what Raina was saying. So those are articles that I actually like give you more in depth of like how to and whys and stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to keep moving through. So short and sweet. We just it was a bit long and cumbersome for the people who came to the event. They actually really pulled a lot out of it and loved that they had the videos. But for the audience, I think some people were a little overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, you know, hundreds of things. How am I going to even get all my value out of this? Even though one course they'd get more, but you know, like to have to think about watching 130 breakouts is somewhat overwhelming for people. So keeping it shorter and sweeter. And I would maybe recommend Sharon Lecter's actually throwing a live event very soon. She may be someone that you can also talk to on how she's done hers and what her success points were. I think hers is a 1-day event, and she was taking one that was supposed to be in person and putting it to a digital context. So I would definitely say you guys have strong connection with her, finding out what has made hers. She hasn't done it yet, but what she's doing to make it successful.
That's great to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Speakers, again, qualifying those. And I know Sharon Lecter, because she's Sharon Lecter, she's actually charging the speakers, you know, not sure if that's not always an option if you're not Sharon Lecter, you know, with that name, right. But it could be possible. As well as we talked about, if you're doing kind of like we were doing where people are doing personal development, if you have people that actually offer some sort of continuing education credits or certifications of some sort, this is where people actually need to go to that. So, you know, having that would draw in more people. Selling tickets by a certain date, paying to speak. If you did have speakers that maybe, if you don't charge them to speak, maybe they have to bring in a certain number of ticket sales to be able to speak. Kind of like I was explaining to Lucas, like if you're a small band and you go to play somewhere, you have to sell your own tickets because you're not drawing the crowds in. Right. So, right. Something like that. Like these are just things that we pulled. Again, we were pulling it together in like 3 weeks, you know, so we were just like.
Just a quick question for you. How many people did Sharon Lecter have at her breakout?
I think 26. And to be honest, we did recruit a lot into it. Like we were calling everybody we knew to make sure that her, cool. You know, thing, but she didn't, actually none of the keynotes brought anybody.
Okay.
And that was one thing I think we didn't make it clear enough. And a lot of them, you know, they're used to just coming to an event, showing up, and they get an audience.
Did they have any like were they given any tools like images, things like that to share? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but probably a little bit too close to the event. We probably could have got those out sooner. Again, we recruited Christo at the end to come do some of that for us. So they were given that. And even Jose, who's a big, you know, gets paid $20,000 to speaker.
Very
and I saw him
following. Like out of all of them, he has the most engaged following, where human-to-human connections are being made with him and his followers.
And I saw him posting, I saw people commenting, but not a single person came.
Okay, wow.
And I think there's a certain thing too, that if you're following someone, how many times are you going to come watch them say the same thing, especially if they already said it for free 3 times? Are you going to come pay to watch them speak?
Yeah.
So,
Plus,
And then my other question is, sorry, just one more question. What was your largest general session viewership?
it was probably up there in that like 25 to 30 range.
It was between Jose and Sharon as to how many, like, it was between them.
No, just the general session part, not the breakout.
Oh,
we kept them on general session actually.
Oh, you
So,
did?
yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, so like for the keynotes, we kept everybody just on here, rather than saying, hey, leave.
And that made things way more successful. We did, in fact, sometimes if we just had one breakout speaker, instead of sending them over, what we did is we kept it on general session, and then we didn't lose, often 5 or more people just to the switch. And so we found it much more effective to just keep people in that same room. And so honestly, I do think that if it were a little bit more narrow with the speakers, you just kept it all on one thing, you're just going to have less people dropping out as the rooms.
I agree with you. I think you're spot on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
so even with people who weren't keynotes, just if there was only one speaker, we kept it in the same room. We kept all the viewership from before and that was coming in after.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, totally.
And Eileen, I do like about 2 days into the event, I was recalling that phone call that we had while that adorable little girl was talking about her American Girl doll.
Oh yeah.
Raina, I told you, Eileen called and she mentioned the breakouts, but it was kind of like, are they able to do kind of last minute what we need them to do?
Right. We had already had everybody submit. We talked about doing that halfway through, but so many people had already submitted their things and they were waiting in their breakout room.
Also, one of the biggest challenges with having people leave this to go to the other breakout, is people's passwords. They gave the wrong information. They changed the information, never updated it. And so the reason why we asked for passwords too was we first started recruiting the speakers at that very beginning of the Zoom bombing debacle, when they pretty much forced passwords on every meeting no matter what. And so that's why we were asking for passwords, and I just kept it on there. And the passwords weren't a good idea.
Yeah. So again, that I think you'll have, and especially if you do keep it in one Zoom room anyway, and you were to use breakouts, if you were to go, you won't have that problem. These are just, growing pains that we learned from. I'm going to keep moving on to a website here. Of course, we already said working before everything. I think an in-house affiliate, if you have someone who knows how to program that, or share sale became a little bit of a hiccup for some people because it was more complicated than just, type in your email, type in your info. And so, for instance, with Leanne V, and I think too, if you do have a big celebrity, like if you got your Shaq involved or if you got your John Stamos, even if your affiliate wasn't super easy, setting it up for them like we ended up doing for Leanne V, but in advance, so that it's just, hey, here's your affiliate link. If you use this, just give me your address. We'll send a check to you. Right. You have to make it so simple, because when we originally sent her go to share sale, she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And so, yeah, it has to be either in-house where it's super simple and you're not going to share a sale and you have to pick the person and all that. It just needs to be super simple, especially for those high-end celebrities that they get paid 10 grand to do,
if you have a WordPress website or not? Is your a website WordPress?
Yes.
There's numerous plugins that you're able to install.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. We've got someone who does all that. I just tell them what I need.
All right, So
the plugins hung us up in the beginning, because we were supposed to have this website ready weeks out. It's just those plugins, everything started fighting with each other.
Yeah, I can tell you, do not use Ultimate Affiliate Pro.
She has a web person. They
might, if they're looking into that one, tell them no way, no, absolutely no. That was actually what caused all the problems. It was on the website, and then just because of when it was just like, finally I'm throwing in the towel on this. It was so close to where it's like, all right, going to share a sale. Because share a sale is,
All right.
in affiliate marketing, it's very easy, but in regards to what we're doing, no.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna keep moving on. So making it clear that it's on Zoom. That's one thing. We put live event, which of course it was live, but that did confuse some people thinking that it was in person. So making sure that it's live Zoom event so people don't think, oh, we're social distancing, we can't go to that. That's one thing we could have made much more clear with our messaging. So clear message, what's going on, what finished knowledge base. What did we have on that one, Lucas?
Oh, so knowledge base, so if, like, it's facts, knowledge base. So if you go to any like support center, it's
just the
incredible.
FAQ.
It's to like, you can either watch this video that's like a 90-second video, or you can read the text with step-by-step how-to already there. So it's having like, because the affiliates page, that was pretty much the knowledge, like a part of the knowledge base that's going to be put somewhere else. Is just that it was put there just so that it's there, versus leaving and making things more complicated.
Yeah.
Because it will get
exactly. So and we ended up doing that with the affiliate later, where there was a video and step-by-step, because people have different preferences. So just going to keep moving on. Speakers with the breakouts, we covered that. Stay on Zoom, we covered that.
What that means there, speakers with breakouts, is how you actually list the breakouts and the events. Because I had like it was pretty much using a membership platform. So we had the speakers, which was actually their profiles to list the speakers. And then we were using blog posts to list the breakouts. And so
right.
Two separate
later
pages,
you
they
just
weren't integrated together.
Right.
If you're working with
you
like 10 speakers, it's a lot easier just to take the information and make the one page yourself. But we were working with a ton of people, and so I thought it would be easier. It could have been easier. I don't know the opposite side, but
is your screen flashing as well?
No.
I might lose you. I think my computer's stroking out.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. But we did end up just listing it later, and I think that was much simpler for people to just go on, see what time people were doing their breakouts, and then they could go look at their profile later.
Well, I have a question for you before I lose you.
Yes.
I saw on our affiliate link we had $123, but there was on this report more. There was obviously the critical relief page, which I'm aware of, but then there was like another $300. Where did that come from?
That's what we donating back to you is like I think it's 400
ticket sales.
Yeah, from ticket sales.
From ticket sales.
And will that come through
share sale? $200 for like 500 hours of work.
Will that come through share a sale, or will that?
That would come from me. So share a sale, you're getting that. The $124 you're getting from share a sale. Whatever is in the critical relief fund, and then we're going to be sending you $410. So adding all that up together, it's $1671. So that's on page 2.
There $75 of PayPal that got.
Yeah, so like that's kind of like where the starting number. So if you go back to page 1, WooCommerce. Oh, we lost her.
Did we? Oh.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep going anyway.
Okay.
What time are we at? Here, I have no idea when I started this.
We've got about 19 minutes before the hour hits.
Oh, I was thinking in terms of like recording time. So I could say, oh, it starts off at this when you got kicked out. But all right, so WooCommerce is on the first page. That's the store. It's $16.91 is the gross sales that it brought in. So then if we scroll down to page 2, we're looking at the little chart there from PayPal. We have payments received, $16.34. So there was already a commission taken out by WooCommerce. So then it comes into PayPal, and then PayPal takes $73 out. So if you see on the left there, it's $16.34, which is what's in PayPal. Take out that $74, $73.93 in PayPal fees. That brings it down to $15.60, which is the end balance. So that's what was deposited from PayPal into the Wellness Fairs account. So that's what we're working with is 1560 now. So then we take that 1560 and then we go with the taxes and all that stuff, as you can see from there. So that's kind of where like those starting numbers come from.
So basically we're adding the critical relief fund with the 410 that we're sending and the 100 and something that came from their affiliate, because from Childhelp was about 13 tickets. When you break that down to half, that is about 140 or whatever you had as your affiliate. I'm going to keep moving through the marketing just so that you have this on the recording.
And then one question too is with the math that's on page 2, like in terms of like the order that I did it in, because this is the first time that I'm doing an event this way with donations in the way that I'm doing them. Is this correct, legally correct, to where you guys are getting the most money possible, as well as I'm not going to make a mistake and end up audited or in prison or something? So like, did I do that correctly? And it's just in terms of like how I did it.
And I do want to mention that you didn't include expenses in this, that you absorb the expenses into your own company so that Childhelp would have profits, because you did spend, you know, 600 and some odd to do the share sale. You sent money for all the plugins and things like that. So we made sure that you absorbed those costs into your own company rather than passing those along to the split of
because you if I did that, you would be paying me. So,
right. Okay. So I'm just going to move on to marketing, and so how Childhelp can make more money and not lose any. So feeder events, we were talking about. This one actually ended up being more of like a networking event. It would be a feeder event into a bigger event. So having some small events where people can become raving fans about your virtual events, I think that's what this one really served as, more than a big moneymaker, obviously. Although we did have the spin-offs where we have Dave Crow, who's working with Michael Maduro to raise the whole 1.5 million. We have Wyland, who's donating a painting to auction. So there are spin-offs, but this event obviously hasn't been like a huge moneymaker, but it's kind of a seed event. And so having some of these feeder events where they're smaller and they can gain the fans that want to go to a larger event could definitely be a form of marketing. I'm going to move on to more time on the market.
It's called like event funnels. So it's like an event conversion funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So events sell events, and then from there go from there.
And then you can also charge more for those events. Once people are raving fans of the event, you know, you can go from a small feeder of $19 to a $400 event and a $1,000 event. And again, I would talk to Sharon Lecter. She's doing about a $700 or $800 event. So, and she plans to have 1,000 people last I checked. So more time to the market, we covered that. Speaker media kits, we did cover that a little bit. We sent those out, but we could have sent them out earlier, probably as soon as the speaker signs up within a week. And then having those speakers all locked down well before the event would be helpful, because then they can market. Although I don't know how much the speakers themselves will bring in, unless they are a Shack or someone like that who can post it and everybody goes, oh, I want to come and see them. So use your star power if you have it. Conversion
I'll take care of the next 4. I'll take care of the next 4. Like with the conversion funnels, the email drip, the content marketing, and the niche marketing. So these all go hand in hand. Conversion funnels and email drips go very well hand in hand. So just in terms of like why I put this there, a conversion funnel is I come in there and I get a free report. So we want to, we get something free. We get a free download of a PDF, a video, whatever that is. And then from there, we're sent to a thank you page, which then is just like, hey, since you were interested in this free report, you're probably going to be interested in this event that we're doing. So we already have their email, and now we're promoting the event so that the email drips can keep retargeting them based on how far they got in the funnel. And with the content marketing, it's stories, sharing stories, break people's hearts, and then integrate or say something about the event that's coming up 6 months from now. Or you're very slowly bringing it in so that once you're down to 30 days, now it's all out, and that's what you're focused on, and it's not coming out of left field like it did for us, to where very left field. And then niche marketing, as Raina was talking about earlier, if it's somebody from Hay House we want them to be promoting like the spiritual side of the event or the health and wellness side. If we have Grant Cardone, or he's going to talk about the sales training that you're going to inquire and how you can make more money. And so it's very
with
focused
on maybe she would talk about the social media aspect and how you can become an influencer too. So really focusing that if you give them a script, you've scripted for them, because of course they might not put time into making the script, but that you've scripted it for them to do a quick 30 to 60 second video capturing their audience.
And one thing that we did is we just provide them with, here it is, like here's like copy paste this, use this. In a lot of affiliate campaigns that I'm a part of, and just what I see on other people's websites when I'm nerding around, is that they actually provide many. Here's like 6 different emails to send out. Here's like 50 different social media posts. Here for Facebook, here's for Twitter, here's for LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn has a different mindset than most definitely Facebook. And then Twitter is very short, 1 to 2 hashtags. And so it's creating all that so that they can just easily copy, paste, and go. And what's called creatives. Creatives are images that they're able to use.
Right. And so getting real-time feedback is kind of like the charts that you were showing. Get the shacks out, of course, leveraging the celebrity power that you have. Even, again, if you can just send check that 30-second video, and maybe he's even just a guest in the middle so that people come for that. Celebrity branding, again, using that star power. Corporate collaborations, bringing in different corporations. And we also talked about, if you can get people that can give CECs or some sort of certifications, then people are going to need the event, not just want to come to the event. GA tracking and goals set.
So that's Google Analytics. I didn't set up the tracking to where if I showed you my entire Google Analytics account, it didn't start until April 26th. So that's, so to have everything set up with the goals too. You want to capture as much information as possible.
And so podcast interviews, we actually did a lot of that, but again, it was kind of like a little bit late in the game. I think I did 5 different shows on my channel, but my channel is exclusively Christian, so it wasn't exactly teed up for that. And we got on different radio shows, podcasts, and it did help a little bit, but again, having a little more momentum probably would have helped.
Well, with the podcast interviews, it's to actually schedule or talk and get an agreement with the podcast host that they're going to release it at this time, so that you have like 100 some podcast episodes all airing the week before, and then another 100 or the week of. So it's just a ton of podcasts where you're strategizing it to be launched at certain times, and a lot of podcast hosts are more than willing to do that. So it's just a matter of getting as many as possible.
Yeah. Emails pre-written, that's a given. Just have everything ready to go. Have a blog series on it and a podcast series on it. That's really going to help, again, warm up your audience. We talked about the Zoom links and the logistics of having breakout rooms or just keeping it all on one to keep things simpler. Having the length be a bit shorter. 5 days can be intense for people. And then again, making those feeder events. Maybe they're 1-day events that lead up to a 3 or 4 day event, so that you get those raving fans who are going to start small and then pay the bigger amounts. Shout out plus clip, shout out and tip and tail. What's that again?
It's kind of like what Brandon and I were doing with Childhelp, as well as what we requested the speakers to do, is to literally like the shout out is, hey, it's like we're doing this for Childhelp. Here's a quick clip. Hey, all right, well, thank you all once again. That was Michael Maduro from Childhelp. Go here to donate. And then you go into it. And then just before the MCs like pass it off, do it again. It could be a different clip. It could be a shorter clip. Don't do a clip, but have that shout out at least at the beginning and end of each different segment to promote what you're doing.
Definitely. And I just want to kind of close up here and respect everybody's time. Again, check out Sharon Lecter's event. Ask her what she's learned, as it comes up. I think it's still a few months out. What worked, what didn't, what she would have done differently. Also, check out the All In Challenge that has a lot of different celebrities and influencers coming in. And again, leveraging what celebrity power you do have to try to bring in elements that have worked for these other campaigns. So we've got a lot of different resources under here that you could check out. And I think that's about it.
I'll quickly cover like just what's at the bottom there. Just otherwise, I'm literally just gonna say what the links are, and I'll start with the ideas first. So the idea is like it's a bestseller. Like we're about to launch a best-selling book. That's how, like, in my mentality of how to do it. So that's another thing that you can research, as well as like if you see examples. I do have some book stuff in there just because of the structure, and it's not the content obviously, but just how they do it is exactly what the goal is. Arbitrage, it kind of goes back to like the upsell, downsell, cross sell in the website area, is if you don't have any products or anything, so it's like get them into the event, and rather than having them make a donation, it's have them buy a t-shirt, have them buy a hat or something, and then a portion of that goes to charity, which is just another reason to get them to buy something and then actually receive a tangible thing for that purchase. She already talked about the certifications, the CEC, as well as package it with the wow. That's Michael Hyatt in the book platform. Just everything where it's just wow. That's pretty much it. And then going all the way on the other side to resources, the first three that are bolded, that's for share a sale. So this is actually the Classy Events. That's your platform, the platform that you're currently using. So the first two are for share a sale, and how you can actually, what they have set up for nonprofits and for different things. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer those. TEDx. TED has so many incredible resources that are just readily available for free in terms of just speaking events and different things like that, and promoting. The main thing is the promoting. They got unbelievable information there. It's just a lot of information. Run a successful event. I got some. So in the articles now, these are not really how-tos with Zoom. That's on the resources side. These are, as you can just pretty much see there, it's how to run a virtual event, how to launch it, how to plan it. Yeah, and these examples, that's pretty much everything. The examples are literally just examples of certain events. And then the bottom ones are things that are completely unrelated, and you'll know that just by looking at the names. But
yeah, they're affiliate stuff. So in closing, we learned a ton. I think this event, for us, it kind of turned into more of a networking event with the people being able to speak with the speakers and connect and actually make networking connections. But I think an event like we did could have been done on a smaller scale and become a feeder event for a larger event in the future. So I think if you were to do something small to start with a small entry and maybe just one day, that would even be a good marketing to go into a larger event. And then of course, talk with Sharon Lecter, check out the All In Challenge, check out some of these resources that have worked. And again, we're here for you if you have anything that you need, any further input that we can give on what we learned, because we sure did learn a lot. Thank you guys, and we look forward to speaking with you in the future.